As I announced earlier, based on preliminary conversations between the United States and Iran over the past 2 days, I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes against major energy and electricity targets in Iran. They have very, very big, new, actually, and very expensive, billions of dollars it costs to build them. One missile, one of our powerful ones, and it comes down to the ground like it was made out of dust. But to determine whether a broader agreement can be reached, we've had very good discussions, very, very good discussions. And you have to understand, I know my whole life has been a negotiation, but with Iran, we've been negotiating for a long time. And this time, they mean business. And it's only because of the great job that our military did is the reason they mean business. They want to settle, and we're going to get it done, I hope.
After the Arab target list leak, Iran now appears to know exactly where it could strike from deep inside Israel. Is Iran now preparing direct tit-for-tat attacks after Donald Trump's threat to target the country's power infrastructure? With Israel's power and water infrastructure reportedly breached, was Trump ultimately forced into a sudden U-turn on strikes? An Iran-linked cyber warfare group is now threatening to hit the very pulse of Israel's water and power systems. Has the US president called for a 5-day pause and opened talks with Iran to prevent further danger for Israel? In direct retaliation to Donald Trump's escalating threats, Iran is likely setting a new operational target directly on Israel's key public infrastructure. Iran has reportedly deployed the tactical use of state-sponsored cyber warfare explicitly to breach various parts of Israel's civilian facilities. An Iran-backed digital hacking group recently claimed detailed technical maps and exact coordinates mapping Israel's regional power infra has been leaked. The prominent Handala group successfully released classified details including internal maps and exact physical coordinates for some of Israel's major energy sites. Even the structural facility layouts and internal transmission data Israel currently uses for municipal water and electrical power may have been accessed by Iran. The cyber hacking group allegedly successfully breached Israel's critical national energy system typically used for operating power stations and solar facilities. Iranian state media specifically cited Handala to firmly claim Israel's municipal water and active power plant details are now on a Tehran database. The digital hacking group further publicly claimed that Iran will inevitably respond with force if any of its domestic power plants are physically attacked. Iran will definitely respond with completely unimaginable military force to any hostile action, the WANA state media quoted the Handala group. The Iran National News Agency WANA also formally released various alleged internal system images hacked by Handala in a March 23 report. On March 21, US President Donald Trump had publicly given Iran a strict 48 hours operational deadline to successfully completely reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Trump forcefully threatened to immediately carry out heavy military airstrikes directly against Iran's domestic power plants if the imposed deadline passes. However, Iran was entirely undeterred by the Trump threat and aggressively threatened widespread military attacks strictly on US Gulf allies instead. On March 22, Iran warned that if the US hits its power plants, it will answer by striking American-linked infrastructure in return. Iran's military said that in such a scenario, energy hubs, IT nodes, and desalination sites would all be fair targets for retaliation. The IRGC warned that an attack on Iran's power network would not stay local, but trigger a region-wide response across multiple Gulf states. Just hours later, state media pushed out a detailed list of Gulf power and water facilities that Iran says are already in its crosshairs. Near Al-Khobar, Iran highlights a major gas-fired plant with more than 4,000 megawatts of capacity as a prime potential target. It also flags Ras Tanura in Sharqiya province, a key oil hub tied into wider power and export infrastructure networks. In the UAE, the list starts with the Baraka nuclear plant in Abu Dhabi, which generates around 5,600 megawatts for the grid. It then points to the Jebel Ali complex, where gas-fired generation is tightly coupled with huge desalination systems that supply water. Iran's media also name-checks the Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park, one of the largest solar energy projects anywhere in the world. For Qatar, Ras Laffan's vast gas-based power plant is singled out as a backbone site for national electricity supply. The Al Hal facility, combining power generation and desalination south of Doha, is also listed as a possible target. In Kuwait, the Al Zour South and North plants are described as critical pillars of the national grid. Shakaya Energy Park, home to major solar and wind projects, rounds out the list as a symbol of Kuwait's future energy mix. On March 22nd, Iran officially warned it will decisively hit critical US allied infrastructure if its domestic power plants are physically targeted.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, O you who believe, when you encounter those who disbelieve, see them weak and do not turn your backs to them in flight. The terrorist president of America has, in continuation of his aggressive and global destabilizing behavior, threatened that if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz, he will target Iranian power plants. We have repeatedly stated that the Strait of Hormuz is only closed to the enemy and those making unprofitable trips, and it has not yet been fully closed and is under our intelligent control. Harmless passage, under specific regulations, is ensured with our security and interests in mind. However, if America's threats regarding Iranian power plants are implemented, retaliatory measures will be taken immediately. 1. The Strait of Hormuz will be completely closed, and it will not be reopened until our destroyed power plants are rebuilt. 2. All power plants, energy infrastructure, and information technology of the Zionist regime will be widely targeted. 3. All similar companies in the region that have American shareholders will be completely destroyed. 4. Power plants in regional countries that host American bases will be legitimate targets. Everything is ready for a major jihad with the aim of completely destroying all American economic interests in the Middle East region. We were not the initiators of the war, and we will not be now. But if the enemy inflicts damage on our power plants, we will do anything to defend our country and the interests of our nation, and the relentless destruction of the aforementioned target will begin, and nothing can prevent the continuation of our operations to destroy the energy, oil, and industrial infrastructure of America and its allies in the region. And there is no power except that of the Almighty, the Wise.
Sensing fierce geopolitical defiance emanating directly from Iran, the US president surprisingly took a highly dramatic strategic U-turn on March 23rd. Donald Trump took directly to Truth Social to suddenly reveal that Iran and the United States are currently holding productive diplomatic talks. The US president alleged he officially ordered a temporary pause on any planned military attacks targeting against Iran's domestic power sites. In a public statement shortly after, Trump formally admitted diplomatic talks were actively underway and specifically mentioned the US' various Gulf allies. President Trump also publicly revealed that the ordered military pause for conducting attacks on Iran's domestic power plants was essentially for a 5-day period. However, contrary to Donald Trump's public claims, the government of Iran has explicitly denied any such talks were held with the United States.
As I announced earlier, based on preliminary conversations between the United States and Iran over the past 2 days, I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes against major energy and electricity targets in Iran. They have very, very big, new, actually, and very expensive, billions of dollars it costs to build them. One missile, one of our powerful ones, and it comes down to the ground like it was made out of dust. But to determine whether a broader agreement can be reached, we've had very good discussions, very, very good discussions. And you have to understand, I know my whole life has been a negotiation, but with Iran, we've been negotiating for a long time. And this time, they mean business. And it's only because of the great job that our military did is the reason they mean business. They want to settle, and we're going to get it done, I hope. And that's why I'm here today. In fact, we were going to cancel because we have a couple of events going on, as you probably noticed. And that's gone. We eliminated their Air Force. We eliminated all of their air defense, everything. We eliminated everything there is to eliminate, and we eliminated them. We eliminated their leaders. We had the first set of leaders. They're gone. Then they met, 88 people met. And it's sad. I mean, it's sad they couldn't have made a deal. We could have made a deal with them a long time ago. Then the second set, 88 people met to pick a new leader, and they're now extinguished. And then they're meeting again, but now nobody wants to be the leader. It's one of the few political jobs that nobody wants anywhere in the world. Nobody wants it. Provide a brief update on Operation Epic Fury, which is a very good name, as it turns out. Now Iran has one more opportunity to end its threats to America and our allies, and we hope they take it. Either way, America and the entire world will soon be much safer and will be a much more secure planet. It comes down to the ground like it was made out of dust. So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that, and I think they're very good. They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. Very, very big, new, actually, and very expensive, billions of dollars it costs to build them, one missile. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a very good chance we're going to end up in a deal. And so we're giving it 5 days, and then we're going to see where that takes us. And I would say at the end of this period, I think it could very well end up being a very good deal for everybody, as good as if we went all the way and just literally annihilated the place, which I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes again.